Hello, everybody, and welcome in to Geek with me, back again after a slight hiatus, one day longer than a week, but, it is what it is. We're here to discuss the Halftime-Heatcheck for Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and we're going to get a little discussion in regarding Wonder Man. I'm very, very excited. I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. Nothing but TV on the docket today. Nothing but TV on the docket. But I do want to start with a little bit of let's get the sadness out of the way first. Screen legend Catherine O'Hara sadly passed away over the weekend. Absolute legend. I loved Catherine O'Hara dearly. We recently covered both Home Alone movies on our movie podcast, The Cinementalist. And we highlighted her continually and just how great she was in that role as Kevin McAllister's mom. And obviously a laundry list of other incredible things. We also have covered After Hours. It's somewhere in the backlog of this here podcast. She's one of the girls that he runs into over the course of the night and changes the trajectory of his life by being just a tad bit insane. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Schitt's Creek. Absolute legend. Beetlejuice, all of that. She's done just so much incredible work. Her work with Christopher Guest, Best in Show, For Your Consideration, all that good stuff. She's hilarious. And Schitt's Creek had one of the most quintessential monologues I've ever heard when it comes to self-confidence and the way you view yourself. It's really wonderful. She says, I know this sounds funny, but take 1,000 naked photos of yourself right now. You may, and she's talking to a younger woman. She says, take 1,000 naked photos of yourself right now. At this point in time, you may not think much of yourself. You may think that nobody's going to like this about you. Nobody's going to like this about you. But I promise that you one day will look back at those photos and go, God, I was beautiful. And,
wow. That's a good way to think about
it's a really beautiful way to think about it.
You always feel more beautiful when you're younger, I feel like, or, no matter what to yourself. Yeah, that's I never
considered it that way, but it's a nice way to look at it, and I think it's a good way for a lot of people to look at it. You're never going to be as beautiful as you are right now, and I mean that to anybody at any point in their life. It's ever evolving, but Catherine O'Hara, absolute legend, devastating loss over the weekend. 71, definitely relatively young,
man.
But
it's finally just, I'm like, there's something recent. Like, what did I know her from recently?
Last of Us. Yeah.
Yes, the
therapist.
Yes, she did feel real. Even in real life, I feel like she had some just interview. I don't know. Her interviews always seemed very in that kind of vein. I don't know, like Gail, that therapist kind of vein. Sometimes she would just lay down some truth. I always feel real, but,
she was cool. She was really, really cool. She was really, really funny and very insightful, and devastating blow, very unexpected one. So rest in peace, Catherine O'Hara. Undoubtedly beloved by millions. So terribly sad, but we will get to the more vibrant stuff, the more exciting stuff here, and happy stuff. We've got the show Wonder Man. We've got Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which we are now halfway through the first season for. We're going to start there. Night of the Seven Kingdoms is 3 of 6 complete. How are you feeling about the first half?
It is a little crazy to say halfway, and just I think different shows that are going on here. But I think it hit me this episode that this feels like, and maybe House of the Dragon has it a little bit, but Game of Thrones, there's never really a true like main character. You have the A stories, but like everyone else feels just as important to like the story that's going on, I feel like.
Yeah, and first time that's ever happened here.
Yeah, it's very, very much so. We have two main characters, and everyone else feels very, very tertiary. And also, like, we got like one woman. I feel, and it's just the love interest for Duncan. And that kind of hit me as well. I'm like, man. I mean, I guess we're in a tournament with knights, and like it makes sense. Like no women knights. And we're in the Thrones world. But I don't know that it kind of hit the kind of scope or in the feeling of the show kind of hit a little bit more of like, oh yeah, no, this is just a little bit different. This is kind of like just a real zoomed in kind of look at two characters rather than the greater world, or like we're not dealing with nations at war. We're not big war moves or anything. Well, I guess quite.
And that's the thing too, is the scale of it. Whenever it came to tournaments in Thrones, they were like one day. Yeah. Or one episode of Thrones, And now we are 3 episodes deep, and it was getting to the tournament, trying to get into the tournament, and then watching the first day of the tournament. And so, like, it is a whole process, and I like that. I kind of like that element of it. I realized whenever there's the sequence, whenever the tournament launches, and it shows the knights grabbing their lances and their shields and then mounting their horses and running at each other, and the music's building and there's excitement, and you're like, oh shit, this is what this show's about. It's definitely about Dunk and Egg, don't get me wrong, but as far as the element of culture in the Game of Thrones universe that they want us to key in on is tournaments and like this version of knighthood. I think that's very, very fascinating, and it's working for me. I really, really, really like this show through 3 episodes. I think that it's doing a lot for Dunk. Like that is a character that is immediately becoming one of my favorites in all of Thrones. And again, he's a normal guy. He's a good guy. Obviously, he's a little dumb. But. Yeah. No, he's very endearing. I think he's a very sweet guy, and that we don't have a lot of characters in Game of Thrones who combine physical prowess. And I have a feeling he's a badass. We haven't seen that, but I have a feeling he's a badass.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting to see him actually fight.
I think that's what's going to make everyone go, oh wait, this guy's legit. You know what I'm saying? Like. When it comes to like the lance and shield thing, the jousting, that's tough. Like I don't think I know there's skill involved, but it's not the same skill required for physical combat. And I think that's the element of it that he is actually going to be fucking sick at, is whatever fight he inevitably gets into that shows, oh, this guy's not to be fucked with.
Yeah, that would be cool.
We don't have a lot of characters that combine physical prowess with naive charm. Like, the closest character we have comparatively to Dunk within Thrones, as far as I can recall, is like, he's like if Hodor and Jorah were one guy.
Okay. Yeah. Hodor, wow, that's kind of crazy. I thought Dunk was like kind of at the lowest part of the totem pole for like intelligence, and he's just kind of like a dumb guy. But Hodor wasn't really, more thrusted upon him, his lower intelligence and everything. But yeah, Hodor definitely the closest. But then after that, it's like what, the Hound, and that's not very, he's it took him some time to kind of get to a place
he's never
where you really liked
he's
him.
never we like him, and we know he's an honorable man, but he's not a good guy. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a difference there between being an honorable guy and a good guy.
Yeah, he's Dunk, like, as far as people go, usually you can't put Thrones people into the real world and they would still be okay. But like Dunk seems to actually be, he could actually make it out in the world today. And And yeah, I think like that's kind of doing it enough for me. Like this show is cute, and I feel like I keep coming back to that. And
it's adorable.
Yeah,
I don't know how Thrones is like you can manage an adorable show in the Thrones universe is beyond me.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the just a hedge knight and a squire who's an actual Targaryen. There's a lot more going on there. I think the Targaryen side of the story, is where a lot of the crux of the story is going to come, and there's fixing going on of him. The town's, money's getting a little low. We really, really need this win.
Yeah.
Come on, just take the win. You want to win anyways, and let's do that. So there's that can happen, but then now with the altercation at the end, I feel like it's naturally like he's gonna joust or fight this I already forgot his just douchebag Targaryen brother.
Yeah,
I feel like is the battle
we
they're
got
setting up here.
I like the setup for what Targaryens are ruling right now.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
Because coming off of House of the Dragon and ahead of Game of Thrones, at this point in the timeline, it seems like a healthy blend of both Rhaenyra and Aegon's people end up interlocked. Like we got a couple dark-headed Targaryens that just don't make sense. That I'm like, oh, those are Rhaenyra blooded. Those are Rhaenyra blooded kids right there. Or she's an ancestor of them. Like Baelor. Baelor, who I can't imagine is Baelor the Blessed.
Yeah, and that's where I guess all these people and where they fit in the timeline, I'm even less.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm like, as far as like the building of, the Sept of Baelor, I can't imagine that was within the last 100 years in the in the Thrones universe when we get to Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I'd say he's just another Baelor along the very long list of them. But I mean, I don't know. I guess he could be the first or the one that is, and we do see the construction of the temple, I guess. But no, that thing feels pretty, a lot older, than him. But yeah, I think we have the good version of the Targaryen, him, he's actually just a chill guy, actually remembers Sir Aaron, or what's his name? Old guy? Arlen. Yeah, I knew an A in there. Remembers him, and then we have just the classic Targaryen blooded people. There is one person that I'm curious on who they are. Dunk is kind of spying on the lords having their little meeting and everything, and then a girl comes up to him and is like, hey, these guys are missing, probably dead. You're tall and stupid, kind of a little Targaryen, Helena, kind of a I don't know, just the weird kind of but her hair is very dark, so it's not like I don't know if she is.
She's also not a Targaryen.
Okay, was she just like
she was the princess of the hosting house.
Oh,
the Ashfords, I believe, is the House of Ashford. She's their daughter.
Interesting. Okay, so it is clear. Okay, or made known. I guess I just didn't put that together.
No, there's a lot going on whenever they introduce the Targaryens, and then they show the hosting lord go like, and this is my daughter, and then they move on very, very quickly, and that's so understandable little moment there, but that is the princess of the hosting house, and I believe they are the Ashfords, if I'm not mistaken.
The Ashfords, okay. Because where are we right now? We're not the Ashford. Do they have their own castle? Are we near King's Landing? Because we're not.
I don't believe
King's
we're not near King's Landing. I believe, if I recall correctly, I feel like the Baratheon makes mention that we might be in the Reach. In the first episode, I can't recall if that's the case.
It looks like it.
But
Ashford Meadow in the Reach, I guess. So
okay. Look at me go.
I was just wondering if like we do, like we're 1 day away from the tournament now. It kind of felt like it was going to happen last episode, but then Dunk's like, "Oh shit, I can't even actually enlist today." But it feels like next episode would be the tourney. I don't know. Maybe we do take another kind of. It's the night before he is shitting his pants, and then finally we get to the turn. But I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't. Who knows what trouble the end of this episode gets him into? Because he's been rolling with Egg, and he also said to his dad was like, "I'm certain they won't show up dead." You know, like he's been rolling with the kid that was missing. Like that's not a great look for him. I certainly can't imagine it will be in the eyes of the Targaryen, who already didn't like him.
This is true, and yeah, I feel like it's natural that they're building up the battle between who's the dick Targaryen right now.
They all have the same name, man.
Aerion,
Aaron,
Prince Aaron, or Aerion. I get maybe him, but Dick. It feels like that's the battle, or kind of because he's in the tourney. Dunk, I guess, maybe still is. I feel like that fight kind of has to happen. I really, really want Dunk to kill him, because it's like legally it's okay if it happens there. But then again, if you do kill a Targaryen, is that like, I don't know, like it's legal to kill someone in a tourney, but like if it is a prince or someone up that high, is it actually not a good thing to do? I don't know, but like but I feel like that is dismantling the corrupt part of the Targaryen house right now is what Dunk feels like. He's going to go from just a hedge knight all the way up to kind of taking out the bad Targaryens. But then we do have a prophecy of, I guess, Egg, becoming king, but everyone actually hating him, and then being happy over his burning dead body or something like that. Or so we have. Yep. We got a prophecy in here, and thrones and their prophecies are always a little crazy, or not to be taken literally, but I don't want to like look up to see if like Egg actually if this is an Egg.
Yeah, I don't want to know
that
either.
Does become king. But that's a pretty cool through line. Like if everyone we know just is dead and the only Targaryen left is Egg at the end of this, would be kind of funny if it is just a kid, and that is who's ruling at the end. But I don't see how we get the resolution of that prophecy like in this show, or at least definitely not this season. I feel like, or like this is. I don't think we see him on the throne and then it all come down and him die. There's no shot.
I don't either. I think that everything that happens this season, I think, concerns itself with this tournament. And, whether that... Because here's the thing, is that, like, this tournament could last for days if he succeeds. Like, we could get a few episodes where he does this. It's not like it's like one episode is the only episode he'll be doing all of this in. We're taking our time. We're doing the stuff in between every single round. Like, it seems like more actually does happen outside of the lists than in them. Which is very cool. I liked him going around and trying to find someone who remembered Arlen. And everyone being like, what the fuck are you even talking about, man? Nah, that guy, I don't know who the fuck you're talking about. That's bullshit. And the only one who does remember is Baelor, and that's very, very cool. I liked that a lot.
He's seems to be an actual person, or who knows, he could have some bad
and he's dark haired.
But yeah, he's not an actual pure blood Targaryen, but and very humble still, like Dunk says that like one day we'll be blessed to finally have you on the throne and everything. He's like, well, I still hope not for a long time. That's treasonous words you're speaking there. I hate how like that's even like or maybe not treason, but you just don't speak against the king. Like, even though it isn't good faith of like, yeah, you're going to be such a great
like
king.
the king is going to die one day. That's just something that will happen. I'm not saying that I want it to be immediately. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But you gotta be careful. Yeah.
I loved that. And I loved the last little reveal moment in the stinger in episode 3 and the stinger in episode 2. The stinger in episode 2 is really nice too, where he goes, tomorrow I'm going to show them, like, and you're like, okay, let's go. And then he's not in it tomorrow, which is very, very funny.
Yeah, it's going to be, and maybe that's why Egg was kind of like, well, okay. He kind of did, like, after Duncan said that, he was kind of like, okay, sure, yeah, hell yeah, kind of okay, whatever. But he's like, well, maybe not really tomorrow. You can't literally compete whatsoever. And yeah, I like how, and I'm assuming like it was pretty immediately clockable of him as a Targaryen. I just like, but like I think it was episode 2 where the Targaryen party shows up and he's just kind of like, oh, okay, I want to go back to camp. Oh, yeah. I need to leave. So I mean, it was pretty.
I probably shouldn't be over there. Yeah. Well, and what's funny too is I was wondering in episode 1, I was kind of like, well, how is he a Targaryen? How long's he been hidden? What's he doing? Like that sort of thing. Apparently, not very long. Is a very important Targaryen, as he would be with the main host party of the prince and and the heir to the throne and all that good stuff. So you're like, okay, he's a pretty important kid. Very. I liked putting all the puzzle pieces together. Obviously, it was very trackable. We were pretty confident he was a Targaryen.
But I think the reveal is more for Dunk. I feel it is more of kind 100%, of like a 100%. He's like, huh? He's like, well, thank you. I was about to get my teeth kicked in and lose every single one of my teeth. So he's kind of like, thank God you came in and
they were going to curb stomp my man.
Yeah, damn, and Ari or whoever, douchebag Targaryen, come
Aaron,
on.
Yeah.
Why you got this play? I know she killed a dragon and all, and I guess, you're a Targaryen. You got to keep up your house and everything. But dang, I don't know. Yeah, you deserve those punches to the face, man. It was pretty clear there, and yeah, I was really scared for the boy Dunk right then and there. I'm like, yeah, this can't be good. Like Targaryens don't have the longest of tempers. I feel like whatever, like this punishment is coming right now. I don't think we're sitting in a cell. And I'm like, oh fuck, and yeah, whenever A came in, I was like, okay, wow, okay. I thought the reveal of him would actually come later for some reason. I didn't think it would have been this early on, that he was just kind of like, all right, what up, everyone?
I'm answering to my father. Yeah, and you're like, oh, okay.
So
yeah, he's.
I guess the part, so Egg is the current king's son? Is that, or yeah, how does this work? Because he overpowered Arion, and was, Arion just said like, all right, kick his teeth in, but then Egg comes in and is like, no, you listen to me. So like, does he, how does
Aaron is his older brother.
Yeah. So how, like, does Egg have like, say over his older brother? Like Egg walked in and the guard or Kingsguard or whoever were there, like they listened to him. Egg was like, no, you listen to me. You're not touching that man or doing anything.
I think it's because they can't refuse the word of either of them. And in the case of, taking such irreversible action against somebody, it's like, yeah, we probably should listen and go to dad here. Is kind of how I take it. Is like
the brothers are having a feud. We don't want
the brothers are having an argument. We don't take sides with them because we've seen what happens when Kingsguards take side with different Targaryens.
True.
And so I think that's it's probably just kind of common practice at this point for Targaryens whenever, or for the Kingsguard with Targaryens whenever the siblings start fighting to go, hey, I'm going to sit this one out. We're going to go to the top and we're going to see what's going on here. I took it to kind of just be precautionary. Not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily like Egg's the one,
Yeah, I didn't, and it felt like more of a kind of like, oh shit, Egg is back, like and,
Right.
like this is more important, like stuff's going on. But I didn't know if there was something like a little deeper there, that he does have some actual leg up on the lineage, or the the blood, where he's someone else's, so or whatever. But yeah, I thought,
I guess there could be something where maybe Prince Aaron was, had a different mother or something and was legitimized, or there could be there could be anything going on here, and that's why I'm like, I'm not going to say that for sure. I do think it is what I was talking about, but I don't think that there's any reason to rule out anything else that's potentially fun, dramatic possibility. But yeah, no, I'm really into it. I think it's really, really charming. I think Peter Caffrey Caffey, I think is his name. Claffey. I can't remember.
Claffey. Claffey? Claffey.
Claffey. Peter Claffey. He's really, really good. I liked Dexter Soul Ansel as Egg. Still want some more Lionel. I still want more Daniel Ings as Lionel Baratheon. I think we're getting about as much of him as we're gonna get. Like, I don't think he's gonna become important for any reason, but I like seeing him on screen. He's a lot of fun.
Yep. Three Finger Alice. I think there was some kind of up in the air whether Lionel was on the where he lied on the spectrum, and I think this episode it was a little more clear. That I think he swings both ways. This man
looking
is
good. Yeah. Smack at his ass and telling him he looks good. Yeah, that's good. That's yeah. I mean, I've been there. Yeah. He's definitely a little bit more queer than the average Thrones player, I would say.
Yeah, and
which I appreciate. That's my boy. That's my
good
man.
And we I guess we did see some true proof of strength. The most strength we saw of Dunk so far was that tug of war. And Egg was on the team. That's basically not even a person. No offense, Egg.
That doesn't
and
count.
Then Lionel actually left too. So I mean, they were down 2 people, and still Dunk was like, "All right, I got this shit." He's like, "I'm the anchor." He's like, "No."
And Egg's methodology is not great when it comes to pulling the rope, but it is great in terms of not falling over, which is his job, is to not fall over. So he was playing the game he had to play. He understood that he wasn't contributing a lot. So he's like, what if I just add to the weight of the rope?
Yeah, I mean, and the celebration, like, at the end was so cute. Like, when he throws him up in the air. God, it's like, I'm like, so oh, cute. Like, that's actually, I don't know, like, that you're throwing a possible heir to the throne, like a child, like a baby into the air. I think that's, I don't know, hilarious. And yeah, they're like Dunk. I love that Dunk has actually no idea like who Egg is, and Egg is just some stable boy that happened to like want to be a squire, and he, like, if he knew that who he was, he'd be, no, you're my squire immediately, because now I get whatever I want in the world with you, pretty much at this point. But no, it is like just they have that conversation of
he believes in him.
If you win, can I be your squire? And he's like, and Dunk's still even kind of like, I don't know, but he's like, no, if I do win, if I win, then
that's why it's a good thing that he'd already met the Targaryens before this reveal too, because they're going to be like, this guy's dumb as a box of rocks. Like, that he didn't kidnap him. He didn't do shit like that. He got saddled with an heir to the throne. That's all.
Damn. Yeah, bro, just walked into, I don't know if it's a lucky situation, but going from where he was, he wants to become known. He wants to be a champion.
Wants to be a great knight. Yeah.
This is it's a good happenstance for him. But,
I agree.
But Targaryen, I don't know. It can get dangerous pretty quickly.
Very.
But I think we're in good space. It just I didn't think that the pace of the show would be as slow as it is, but now that I'm with it for the 3
breathing
episodes,
a lot.
I think
it's breathing
it does
a lot,
work.
and I really like it. Yeah, I like that it's taken its time. I think that is what's making it feel the most like Thrones right now, is that it is allowing itself to breathe.
Yeah,
which is really good. I'm more than pleasantly surprised with the turnout here. I think that it's been incredible, and I really look forward to the back half of the season. But another show that I'm unbelievably pleased with and surprised by is the new Marvel Studios Spotlight presentation, Wonder Man, starring Yahya Abdul-Mateen and Ben Kingsley.
Yes.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
We can start spoiler free because it is a new show and all of it did come out within the last week. So, we'll keep that a little spoiler free for a little bit. And then if we want to get into spoilers, we can dive in. But dude, what a great addition to the MCU.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're kind of cooked. Marvel, I've been in some shaky roads, or the roads have been a little shaky, and I didn't know where I stand. But man, every time they release something new, I'm kind of just like, well, you're kind of doing it again. We do have the new Cap movie. I'd say that's the thing in the most recent times that's kind of like, okay. Yeah. But man, with Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, Daredevil, like kind of everything that's kind of they've been pumping out has been very, very good. And yeah, I think they finally, I feel like pushed past this barrier of fitting the formula to a T. Like this isn't something that they would have released, I don't think, back in the Loki WandaVision era, and during this whole time. This feels too like very niche, and not too massive implications and everything going on.
Right.
This is just a nice little spotlight, with a character who could go on and do some very important things, I think. But a beautiful way just to, I think, like usher in a new character into the show, instead of like, oh, we have Wanda, we know all about her. Cool that we're getting a TV show about her. Love WandaVision. But this is like, I feel like this is what a TV show for Marvel is like perfect for. A character that's never been on screen before.
It's similar to a Night of the Seven Kingdoms in that regard. It doesn't feel like a giant lore implicating era, or a period of time where it's like, oh shit, this is everything, or else, we're dealing with stuff that will affect Doomsday. I don't think, maybe, but I don't think so. The most it'll affect that is if Yahya Abdul-Mateen is in that at all, and I don't know that he is. But I really love that actor, and I've loved him for a long time. He's been in a lot of great stuff, a lot of great comic book stuff too. He was in Aquaman as Black Manta. He was in Watchmen as what is revealed to be a very important character. Man, he's great.
I always forget that. Watchmen was so good. That was such a good era. Reading the actual comics, watching that at the same time was nice. But Candyman. I forget he's that. I still haven't seen that.
Yeah.
I need to watch that.
I'm thinking that might be an October one we hit this year. I enjoy that one a lot. I enjoy Nia DaCosta's direction of it a lot, and she did The Marvels. She just did 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. She's a great director. But yeah, so Yahya Abdul-Mateen is one that I've like. This one I was always going to watch because it was led by Yahya Abdul-Mateen and Ben Kingsley. And then you start it and you go, oh, they got something here. They're cooking a little bit, their chemistry is impeccable. There's a love for the craft that you didn't realize Marvel had. Or was capable of. And I appreciate that a lot.
A little love letter to the actors, I feel like, or another look into just what actors have to go through, which is always funny to think of. I can watch a show or a movie and be so lost in it that I never even think of the real life logistics that had to happen to bring the show or movie to me. But then whenever I'm like being shown in the show that I'm watching what actors it was so fourth wall breaky, but not at the same time. Like I love how like closed it actually was, and they weren't like, oh, here's the Kevin robot, or whatever that we saw.
Right.
I forget, it was that She-Hulk, I think, making all the decisions.
Yeah, that was She-Hulk whenever she breaks the fourth wall and goes into the quote-unquote real world and then meets the Kevin robot, and
Which I thought, I thought we might be going, when I was watching the show, I was like, okay, are we going down this kind of, fourth wall breaky avenue? But no, it felt very meta, and very actor focused and Hollywood and all these things, but still very, very singular. Like this, it didn't take away from the show at all. If it, I think it just enhanced it totally. Like it was, it was not the story at all that I thought was going to be shown. And I guess I didn't know. I don't know anything about Wonder Man coming into the show. This is a completely new character to me.
I barely know anything about Wonder Man 2 beyond some very basic stuff about him from the 60s, very, very old Wonder Man stuff that's how he was an aid in the creation of Vision and, shit like that. There's nothing
okay.
which the MCU will not do anything with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They made him team up with an original Marvel MCU character. You know what I'm saying? That character doesn't exist in comic books. That's his boy now, though. I like that the buddy comedy aspect of this is the premier factor.
Yeah.
I love that they're the world's gonna fall in love with you too. In universe, they're the world's gonna fall in love with you too in your chemistry, and that's what I'm doing as I'm watching it. I really, really love them together. They are immediately becoming one of the MCU's most dynamic duos, which is hilarious because it's fucking Trevor Slattery and Simon Williams. That's hilarious, and I think ultimately, this was one that I felt if you just surrender to it, you're gonna have a good time, and
oh yeah,
that's beautiful. I love whenever the MCU excites me again, and I feel like they've been on a roll. Thunderbolts really did it for me. Fantastic Four was really solid. Daredevil Born Again really solid. Can't wait for the new season kicking off next month. But Wonder Man was a good way to get me back in and go, okay, yeah. Let's get it again. Let's keep this ball rolling because it's exciting, man. And it's I appreciate the way that they tackled every day. We haven't had somebody in a really long time, I feel like, and maybe I'm forgetting someone. Obviously, we have Daredevil. Very obviously, you have a secret identity. Da, 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 da. Have we ever had someone trying to hide powers? Superhero capabilities. He has no interest in capitalizing on them because he loves what he does that much.
Yeah, I don't think so. Secret it's always just been not hiding your powers, but just hiding your identity. And then, I guess Spider-Man.
Who you are, yeah.
But then at one, there's not anyone, and especially a very, very
nobody
with Daredevil,
this powerful.
He does well. I guess no. They both have superpowers, and I don't know. They both
in
are
the
not
technical
somewhat
sense,
normal people, but yeah, this one. I guess we do have that a really really good writing decision of actors can't have superpowers it happened at
choice.
one point and it just didn't go well.
Poor Doorman. Goddamn. Yeah.
Man.
Poor Josh Gad, R.I.P. Josh Gad in the Marvel Universe. Very, very funny choice there.
Where is he? What actually happened?
Where is that?
How is he dead? Is he just still inside of Doorman? Is he in Doorman's sunken place realm-ish thing? Yeah, I mean, that was incredible. And yeah, I love that it was just a one-off episode the whole time. That whole episode. And at one point I'm like, did I turn on the right show? I'm like, this it did relate enough, and I'm like, okay, this is still obviously here, but even I guess I don't know why, and maybe this is still just my MCU brain thinking things are going to go larger or connect, but the story just kept being such it's the contained story, and that's all it was, and it never did unravel into anything really bigger. and I was just I kind of had this in the back of my head of like, how are they going to like connect this to everything else, like that it had to happen, and I don't know why, but I hope that it maybe takes me out of that mindset. This show is kind of like it can be just like a Night of the Seven Kingdoms. It doesn't have to be so grand and everything, and it was just a cool story to focus on. And we the Mandarin, I guess, coming back in, Ben Kingsley. He is just
Ben Kingsley
incredible.
getting to go back into the mode is really, really fun. And he's doing it for his boy. It's fucking awesome. Like I love that payoff. We're gonna go spoiler territory now.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I guess it wasn't being very spoiler free. I guess just hit me that.
But
we're doing that.
It's spoiler free enough. Now we're going spoilers, so be ready. Dude, I love that payoff at the end of the show. The whole, like, the characters they're playing, Barnaby betrays Wonder Man and da-da-da-da, and then, that's what is actually happening, but he gets a chance to confess, and he does, and then, they fall out, but he has the one big payoff. He's like, all right, I did it. I did that. I did that. I love his Mandarin voice. Yeah, and like I do too.
And then to put the lens on it of like it was just an act, and he is an actor, and it was just something that he went through. Maybe a little too method, or I think maybe some prison time might be warranted for doing something like, and we don't know if he actually pulled the trigger on some people. He said like, no, they were blanks. But when he said that, it was kind of like, were they blanks?
I think it's something he kind of needs to believe.
Yeah. He's like, I don't fucking know. I was blitzed out of my mind, man. Yeah. I was playing a terrorist, leading terrorist of the world at the time. But because he was in Shang-Chi, right?
He was. Yeah.
And this is Shang-Chi comes before this, right?
Yeah.
So
he mentions at one point the pocket dimension he lived in briefly, which is in Shang-Chi.
Yeah. So he was. I guess I'm just trying to track his he was the Mandarin. He was put in prison for what he did.
Wenwu breaks him out because he posed as the Mandarin.
Oh, yeah, okay. Wenwu broke. I forgot that detail. Okay, I'm like, how did he get out? I'm like, how did he get? And then went back.
Keeps him in their little realm to perform for them. He's like a jester.
Yes.
Okay. And then I'm assuming when he leaves, that is when he flies into LA, is ready for a return, and then gets arrested by the Department of Damage Control. Which, again, a nice little, just fun world building and playing in the world you've created. Getting to bring back this guy from the Department of Damage Control, who was in like Spider-Man, and just little shit like that. Periodically, he popped up. And getting to give him kind of an antagonist role where he's on his trail. He's following him hot. And this sort of, FBI-esque manner of going like, we've got you on this, you're fucked. You have to do whatever we say or else you're going back to prison.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I guess the goal, they just know that Simon has such dangerous powers and they want to just lock him up because of that. Like, is that the true goal, is that he is just dangerous, he doesn't know it, we need to lock him up? Or is there something more going on? Like, I feel like the way that this can get like higher or go bigger is like the script and everything of the Wonder Man movie that we were hearing is happening in the show that we are watching, and this is like his real origin story, like that, and we're seeing his origin story unravel before our eyes, and like it is kind of like not the in-universe Wonder Man movie like this whole movie was written for him to trap him and go into this role. And
this movie was not. He had to audition for a real movie in order for it to be believable. So this movie wasn't made for him. they were going to do a fake audition, and then Trevor Slattery convinces them that they can't do that because he'll smell it from a mile away.
So Von Kovac's not in it at all. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, Von Kovac, and I'm pretty sure Von Kovac and the Wonder Man movie was being made regardless. Him getting in it. Now that's the thing, is that like, is Von Kovac, I think there's room for speculation. I don't want to say no, he was absolutely not in on it. I think there's room for speculation there, because he doesn't exactly perform incredibly in the audition series. Yeah. And then Von Kovac is like, I can't see anybody else in the role, you know, like it was a strange turn of events. And now there's also the other side of that, which is that some auteur directors go entirely off feel, you know, like David Lynch would famously cast people based on pictures, and not even meeting them, and just be like, yep, that's the person, they're going to play this role, you know. And so like, that's the, you know, is he just a zany auteur director, or is he in on something deeper? And I think either way, it's going to be cool. And I love that at the premiere of Wonder Man, the way his brother's getting emotional. I loved the payoff there, where his brother didn't do anything to him, because Simon Williams is the most nervous man alive. And there's a really, really specific brand of story that I actually physically have a tough time watching. Like, I want to turn it off as I'm watching it, and this does it so often, it's just a me thing. It's not a thing they're doing badly. It's whenever someone is so untrue to themselves, in an effort to make themselves look better.
Yes.
But in the process, they are making themselves unwatchable. Like, they are making themselves terrible. And this does this continually.
You are right. Oh my God. When he's on set and he's like, no, this line, you know, this needs to be changed.
God.
Blah, 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 blah.
I almost turned the show off 5 minutes in, because I was like, I can't get through this fucking scene.
Yeah.
I don't, and there's an element to it where it's like, that's kind of like cringe comedy, but it's not funny. It's just hard to watch. It's like, dude, you are making an absolute fucking fool of yourself. You know, like,
and that I think that he's so prepared that he's actually underprepared, or thinking that he's trying to prepare so much that it actually just swings the other way. And you're
self-sabotaging at a certain point, you know, like, you got to know that in your tiny 30-second role here, you're just supposed to
die and bleed out on the floor.
You do not get to make choices, you know, like, it's okay. And then the other part that always really, that bothered me was, that fucking, the interview, the being followed. That whole episode is a fucking nightmare sequence for me. That is so hard to watch. Because he's acting
I'll
so
get the sandwich
false
myself. Oh, I always do. No,
like,
I'd want to go talk to him. And it is. It
you
is
know
cringe.
My name, like, all that, like, oh my God, it's so hard to watch. And you know, the part whenever she's like, I talked to your mom, I talked to your brother, and he's so convinced his brother would do something to him to make sure that he can't work in Hollywood anymore. Like, I understand that you have a interesting relationship with your brother, but that's still your fucking brother. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. And it is weird. It's not like cringe, but a type of cringe. And it is like kind of like, oh my God, like it is like I want to turn it off in a way, or look away. But he's like performing, smashing the plates, or like taking off his shoes and worrying about the saw, you know, and like
doing
he's just
a fucking like, monologue from Pretty Woman whenever he's asking you to just surrender to it is so like. And again, that's the point of the show, which I think is really, really cool, is that he refuses to acknowledge who he really is, and thereby he becomes an actor all the time. He doesn't know who he is which is why I think Trevor is a really, really important presence in his life, obviously, kind of teaching him that what we do is reflect. We're mirrors. You know, we show people who they are. And to do that, you got to know who you are. And I really loved that approach.
Yeah, Trevor, I mean, Ben Kingsley came in here and just dropped some absolute goldmine therapy sessions. Like, I mean, it was incredible. And yeah, he was, you know, playing him the fool kind of the whole time and going behind his back. But, and, you know, it all worked out.
He stops pretty early on, actually.
Yeah. And he's like, and he is kind of, you know, it's like, I go back to prison or I just do this. And he's like, and he does say like, I didn't know you before we started this, man, you know, and it's like, and he does take the fall at the end, you know, and make it all worth it. But like I have a feeling that like this whole movie, like I don't, it could have been made beforehand and everything, but this is like too much of a perfect, the script is reflecting actually what is happening to these real people. And like, I think it is like their way of like, we are making his origin story and fabricating it like completely. Like this is like a fabricated hero almost. But through the fabrication, even through a pure fabricated story, you actually get the real hero to come out of it, if that makes sense. Like, I think it is, because I think the themes are, it is also like, you know, true acting versus knowledge acting, or trying to pull from previous material, where like that seems like to be the good thing to do at first, but no, like to have that knowledge and just go off it for inspiration is kind of where they're getting. And yeah, I feel like this whole movie production, everything, I think that because we don't even see or hear really like who the Department of Damage, like that we hear one guy that like is the higher up of the Spider-Man kind of guy that we see, but I wonder like
the guy, the secretary, or whatever.
If this is like a like they're just trying to assemble a group of supers, but ideally they wouldn't want them to be known about, you know, like this is a perfect like if he could kind of disappear off the map for the Department of Damage Control, they have a very, very valuable asset for them. I feel like that's kind of the reason they're even going after him or everything in the first place, is that like, do they truly just like they heard of a young boy that had an event that caused a fire or whatever? Oh, we might be supered. We just need to lock him up and put him away. I don't know. It could be enough, and that's kind of the Department of Damage Control's whole thing, is just they want to insert themselves anywhere super and just make kind of humans feel better. But it did feel a little more like fourth wall breaky in a little bit of, we are witnessing his origin story, and that it was fabricated, and we but
kind of like a Hex sort of thing, like what was happening in like a Truman Show.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely, like at least Simon, he's the only one that doesn't know that all of this is happening to him. No, I guess like his family doesn't know, his agent doesn't know, but like even then, his agent.
No, what I'm like,
she might be in on it too. Like him looking at that email and like going in and finding it and then going to the shoot, like. They leave everything.
Yeah, I'm like, what the theory? The theory that you're spinning would implicate everybody, regardless of whether or not they are.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it would be.
They seem in on it.
Yeah. But like his family seems too genuine, but then at the same time they're playing the perfect role that they have to. So it like, man, it is this really weird kind of going back and forth. But. I think
because it's in the MCU, it's the only reason you're kind of in this camp, or tempted to be in this camp. Oh
no!
You know, there could be
there's the Kevin robot. I don't think it's that level of like we're pulling all these strings and doing all these things. I think it is more like an in-universe reason.
There's some sort of power of the fucking pen they wrote the goddamn script with that reflects reality or whatever, you know, like it.
Because I mean, it does feel pretty Truman Show esque at points. Like, just his family is the only time where it does actually feel like real, and like it is kind of stepping away. But man, I don't know. Like the Kovac meeting, it is kind of like he is kind of the one or getting to this part, but then all the other people that are there, it's like the Oracle basically being like, no, you're not the one, actually, in reality, you know, or kind of like telling him, showing him exactly what he needs to see so that he does step into the role and then actually take it and not believe that it is actually just being handed to him in the first place. It like, I don't know where that line is of like Truman Show versus just surface level things are just happening as they are. But I do feel it does go a little above. Like I think, and why it goes above is like I think his power, like being able to harness ionic energy or whatever they said. Like I think that this will just be a counter to something. The very and I don't know what, I don't know why, but I'd like say, I don't know, Galactus, someone comes back to Earth. There's I don't know what ionic energy where even that sits in the MCU. I don't know who even like who is a bad person that shoots ionic energy out of their hands or that, you know, or someone who uses it. I don't know, but it feels like if they're trying to set up anything like for the future for this character, it is that like this power would actually come in very, very handy for
he does a lot to harness his powers very quickly, by the way.
Yeah. No, I mean, like he has them, but I feel like there is a threat that will come into play that he is. Oh no,
I completely get that. I'm just talking about something in the show now. Like he buried his powers, and then he comes back in the last like 10 minutes of the episode and has them fully refined. Like he knows exactly how to use them.
That's actually
which is very
true.
It's just an interesting choice. That
I don't knew he could fly.
I don't fully have
like
that's he's been practicing that then, you know what I'm saying? Like he knows he can do that. And it makes me wonder how much did he know he could do even going into the show, like.
Yeah.
But he just loves acting that much that he's refused to acknowledge his superherodom. Because here's the thing is now where the show leaves us is that he's okay never acting again. You know, like the Department of Damage Control knows he did this. He knows that this is what's happened. Like they know that this is who did this. The guy who I love that he put a bunch of money in the guy he held it down for his bank account. Like, he was like, yeah, so here's the thing, not making a movie, but here's millions of dollars. Okay.
That was pretty cool. And yeah, so I guess, that at the end, whenever he is just, you know, researching for his movie, I guess, he could have just been, training with his powers that whole time too on the side or whatever. So I guess, it is, that was a little weird of him, like them just leaping out and going through the roof, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess we're here now. But
I guess,
I guess it was just all a ploy, you know, all just to set up to get into the Department of Damage Control, you know, and so you know he kind of did exactly what Trevor did to him, to this random Department of Damage Control guy. So it's like.
You're going to see what keeps me up at night. Like, Jesus, this poor fucking guy.
He is acting again. I like this. It is always kind of repetitive, and like he isn't acting anymore, but he is like he is acting as this actor, you know, who is gathering research or and things. So I do feel like there is like a Truman Show just is a little wrong. Like that's too much. Like it's not the whole world, but
no, but there's that feeling to it. There is that feeling to it. Like, and it's specifically Von Kovac being like, I can't imagine anyone else. Like that kind of choice makes me go, ooh, interesting. Now, given the slate of talent he had in that room, I can't imagine anyone else either.
Yeah, no one was quite clicking as like Wonder Man. They were all just old. Like a bunch of them were really old
bodes.
for one, and I'm like,
well,
okay.
they were for Barnaby.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess they all weren't going for Wonder Man. But yeah, no, I guess it is the titular character. I guess like I knew he would.
Yeah, like obviously you can't imagine anyone else too because you know that this is the way it's going. But yeah, but yeah, no, I loved the show. I thought it was really, really solid. If we get a second season, beautiful. If not, I think it's a good ending.
That's true. Yeah,
him and his boy ride off into the sunset, quite literally. Like it's beautiful. I love the ending, and I think that Yahya Abdul-Mateen's incredibly talented. I think it'd be a waste to not bring him back.
Yeah.
And not a waste, but just like a missed opportunity. He's that good of an actor, and this is that powerful of a character, and it could be something. So I would, if they manage to right this ship, as far as the grander scope of things, I would be pleased to see it. But I think with that,
very pleased.
We're probably gonna have to. Yeah, I'm very pleased. Very pleased. I think I'm going to have to conclude this episode of Geek with Me because I'm on a bit of a time crunch. But today was the last episode of Fire Pod with Me, a Twin Peaks podcast. Go ahead and check that out. If you've never seen Twin Peaks, you got to watch it, and then we'll have a podcast for you to watch it with. It's a first-time viewer and rewatcher podcast. I rewatched it. Joseph watched it for the first time, and it was an absolute blast. You got to check it out. We also have The Cinementalists, Cinementalists. It's a great time talking about movies every single week. And this month we are doing a spotlight on Black History Month. So we got Dry Long So coming this Friday, Poetic Justice on Valentine's Day, Do the Right Thing in week 3, and Nickel Boys to cap it all off in the end of the month. We're going to be coming back every week here to keep doing Night of the Seven Kingdoms. So stay tuned for that. We would appreciate you greatly. But yeah, with that, I think we can conclude this episode. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here, homie.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, fuck ice.